Tonight, we interview one of the exciting first-year Who's that will be suiting up this fall, Cayden Cook-Cash, the former in-state Riverheads high school stars coming off a season that ended in a state championship game appearance. What are his thoughts on the coaching staff, facilities, and breaking into D1 college football? Also, why did he turn down scholarships to take a recruited walk-on spot at UVA? When we'll find out all that and more on the Cavalier Connection next.
Welcome on into another edition of the Cavalier Connection podcast. I'm your host, Jack Lowe, joined as always by my dad, Jeff Lowe, Jay Ballard, and tonight by our special guest, first-year football player, Cayden Cook-Cash. How you doing tonight, Cayden?
Good, how are you?
Doing fantastic. So we're so glad you can join us. What's it been like since moving in at UVA?
It's been a complete turnaround. You know, I came from a small high school with only about 450 kids in it, and now there was 1,200 kids in my session for orientation today. So it's been a complete culture shock, but I'm starting to get used to it a little bit. But
yeah. So going back a little bit to your high school career, you were dominant at 2A school Riverheads. What were you most proud of about your high school career?
so our high school had a pretty wild history of state championships. So the three that I won, that's probably my most remarkable achievement. But I'd say so. This past year we didn't win, but we still made it to the state championship in the 2A level, and that's something that's never been done for our football program. So even though we didn't win, that's still pretty significant to me.
No doubt. What, 4 straight years in the state title game?
Yes, sir. And then they made it 4 more before me. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Who did y'all play in this year's state title game?
We played Radford.
Okay.
So going back on the state title games, I think we read that you had a game against Cam Robinson's team your junior year. So
Yeah.
how did that go, and what were your thoughts when you played against Cam?
So I had known about Cam, and I knew he was a big time recruit, and it was kind of cool to hear about the matchup and hear people talk about it. But like at that point, I didn't really think that in the future we'd be teammates. I was still like being in the recruiting process and stuff. So, but to now be here and like be in the same room with him and the linebackers, that's pretty cool to look back on it and like see all that and how we played against each other. So.
Yeah, how'd that game go? I mean, did you guys end up? Do you remember any specific? Did he ring your bell at all, or you ring his?
So we actually played twice. We played my sophomore year, and we played my junior year. The sophomore year, we kind of blew them out a little bit. It was like 56-19. But junior year,
wow.
they had a lot better team, and it was the final score ended up being like 21-8. And they scored early, and they were up, and Cam actually scored the touchdown. He scored the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to put them ahead. And then he had an interception, and so he was like causing a lot of disruption early on, and we were ended up like changing our game plan to kind of like focus on him a little bit, and we ended up being able to come back and end up winning 21-8. So.
Oh wow,
That's awesome. So we know you had several offers at the D1 level. Who else offered, and what made you choose UVA?
So I talked to Coastal a little bit. I talked to Tech a little bit towards the end, and then I had a full ride scholarship to the University of Maine. And then so what made me choose UVA though is proximity at home. It's really close. It's like 40 minutes away from my hometown. And then I really liked the way that the coaches spoke to me and tried to get to know me on a personal level rather just on the field and my skill set on the field. That really encouraged me to come here as well.
That's awesome.
Nice.
We talked to a lot of recruits and players, and everyone speaks so highly of Coach Elliott and the job he's doing. And they all say that they care, or he cares more about them as a person than as a player. So it's awesome to hear that. Just continually hear that from the guys that we talk to. So for you're an in-state guy. How important is it to kind of put UVA football back on the map?
Yeah, so it's so that's kind of like your home state. And growing up, I always heard about people talk about UVA sports, and they had good years every now and then. But last year was kind of a down year. And if we could get this program back up to where it's contending for championships, that would be special to me, just because I'm in state and this is like where I grew up with my childhood, hearing about all these sports. And so that's definitely a goal of mine, to try and help this program get back to where they were.
Yeah, Jeff and I have been fans for around 35 years or so, and we saw a lot of good years. I mean, we started with season tickets at 16 years old, Who's on the Hill, and then from there, we had some great years with Grow and some even Bronco and all along the way, but been some lean years. So we're really hoping you guys can do that as well. Did you grow up rooting for UVA? And if so, who were some of your favorite players?
So my dad was in the military, so I went up all through the East Coast, and I lived in Alabama and Georgia for a little bit. So I grew up an Alabama fan. My
Okay,
grandparents and stuff, and mom grew up in Virginia, so they were Virginia fans throughout their life. So it was kind of weird, because I was rooting for Alabama while my grandparents and stuff were always rooting for Virginia when I was growing up.
That's awesome.
I believe you played both sides of the ball in high school, and obviously a dominant running back. What position are you projecting to play at Virginia? And is your plan to redshirt this year, or are you pushing to get on the field right away?
So I'm playing linebacker. They got me at linebacker right now.
Okay.
And as far as redshirting and all that goes, I don't know yet. Fall camp starting up soon. So I would love to play this year and try and work my way up the depth chart, but that's going to take a lot. And it's hard for any kid going in to get up to that level, especially with the skill players that they have there now with Cam and Stevie Bracey and all them. So it would definitely be a challenge, but it'd be great to see it.
Oh yeah. What's your favorite thing about the new football facility, and how impressive is it?
Oh, it's pretty nice. My favorite part's the players' lounge, because it's connected to, that's where all the nutrition and stuff is, and they got
Oh, yeah.
like a pool table, ping pong table, and all that, and they got like massage chairs, and it's just I love it. I love it.
That's sweet. What's the vibe around the team right now?
They're all locked in. They're having fun, but they're purposeful with everything they do. They have a goal for this season, and coming in, I had to hit the ground running. They know that I don't really know what's going on, but they're working me in, and they're slowly getting me to the point where I can help contribute towards that goal.
Nice.
Yeah. Who's the best ping pong player on the team?
I don't know. It just depends on the day. It really does. But with that new NCAA game coming out, that's all the hype right now.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I watched Calandria's Instagram live the day it was coming out. Everybody was talking about it. What's your rating? What's your rating? That's got to be fun to talk about in the locker room.
Yeah.
So the over/under win total for Virginia in Vegas is 4.5, and we just feel like that is straight up just disrespectful. Are you guys in the locker room aware of that, 4.5 number, and does it provide any extra motivation to prove the so-called experts wrong?
Yeah, there's always going to be those people out there trying to bring you down in any aspect of the game. But last year, even me watching the games, like, you can tell UVA is a very competitive school. There was 4 or 5 games they lost by 1 score, and their record could easily flip from 3-9 to 9-3. So it's definitely a motivator, but they don't want to let that get to their head. So they're not really going to focus in on it. They're just going to put the work in on the field and let it show out in the season.
Yeah, we agree. We talked about that a lot last year as we were watching games. It was like, man, we're right there on the cusp, and I think this year is going to be the year where we kind of go over that hill. But so have you been warned about the grind of fall camp and how difficult it is physically and mentally as a first-year player?
Yeah, I've heard a little bit about it, but I don't really know how it is until we get in there. So it's definitely about to punch me in the face. I can feel it coming, but I got teammates that'll help me get through it. So
That's
Oh,
right.
There
absolutely.
you go.
What are your impressions of Coach Elliott and his staff?
I love them. They were there for me in the recruiting process, and they're there for me now. The first day we came in, Coach Elliott set us down. He let us know the standard, but he also let us know that he cared for us and he was there for us. So that was really huge. As he's serious about what he does, but he supports you in any way he can throughout that process.
So earlier you mentioned some of the different schools that you had talked to, and one of them was Virginia Tech, and we're happy that you did not choose Virginia Tech. As a Virginia kid, you obviously know how important the Virginia Tech game is to our fan base. What do you think needs to happen to start beating this team in Blacksburg with some regularity?
So Virginia Tech's got a great team coming back this year. They've got all their starters coming back, so they all hyped up this season. But UVA, we need to put in we got the players to do it. I believe the work is going to have to be put in, and there's going to be that extra set that you're going to have to do each day, and that extra meeting or extra hour that you put in, and that's what I believe will get us get the job done at the end of the season towards November.
Absolutely. So to wrap up our interview, we'd like to do a fast money round of rapid fire questions. You good for that?
All right, sounds good.
All right, starting off, favorite color?
Red.
What's your favorite food?
Mac and cheese, probably.
Mac and cheese. Favorite shoe brand?
Shoe brand? I like the low dunks, probably.
Okay. Pepsi or Coke?
Not much of a soda drinker, but if I had to choose one, I'd probably Coke.
Okay. Favorite Gatorade color?
Light blue.
Light blue. Favorite NFL team?
I don't really watch the NFL. I was more of a college kid, so I don't really have like a favorite one. But
Okay. Then I'll skip the next. Favorite musician?
We'll go with Kendrick Lamar right now.
Kendrick Lamar. You have a most played song right now?
Nah, it's all spread. I play a little bit of everything right now, so
Okay.
my playlist is all over the place.
Okay. Do you have a favorite sport other than football?
I actually used to wrestle in high school too.
Okay.
So I really enjoyed that growing up as a kid.
Awesome. You're an early riser or a late nighter?
Late night, all the way.
Favorite movie?
Real Steel.
Nice.
Okay.
Favorite place to eat?
Texas Roadhouse.
Nice. Get them rolls.
Mhm.
That's right.
Favorite pizza?
Barbecue chicken.
Barbecue chicken. Okay. And final one, celebrity crush?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I have a girlfriend, so I don't really know if I should.
That's
a
right.
good answer for a man with a girlfriend.
Yep. Good answer. Good answer.
Right.
Hey,
Absolutely. Well,
Kate,
Cayden, we'd like-
who are you rooming with this year?
He's an offensive lineman. His name's Alexander Rasig. So
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. So, Cayden, we'd like to thank you so much for coming on the Cavalier Connection podcast. We wish you luck in your first year season and have a great rest of the summer. We look forward to talking with you again in the future.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you,
Thank you.
Kate.
Thank you.
We'd like to thank once again Cayden Cook-Cash for coming on tonight, despite all of his orientation stuff and staying up late with us. So thank you, Cayden. You're awesome to listen to. And that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. Be sure to give us a follow on X at TalkAVA Sports, Instagram at the _Cavalier_Connection_, Facebook and YouTube at the Cavalier Connection. Closing thoughts, Dad?
Cayden Cook-Cash was a Virginia high school football superstar, and I'd like to see where he can grow to at UVA. It'll be interesting to see. He had some offers out there, but he wanted to stay local. I think he's got quite the fan base out there, so that's exciting. They'll be able to come and see him play. He seems like a great kid, and he was a pleasure to talk to.
Yeah, Jay?
Yeah, love keeping the kids in state. That's huge. So glad to have him on board. Thankful for his time. Also, another in-state kid that made a great decision this week to stay at Virginia for another year, Harrison Didewick, for the baseball team. Announced he's going to stay along with Jay Woolfolk. Was Jay a Virginia kid?
I'm not
Can't
sure.
remember.
I think
But
he was.
I know
could be
this.
wrong.
Baseball is loaded up.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are. So,
Yeah.
but those two decisions, I know, Harrison being a Western Branch Bruin, we're so glad that he is coming back as well as Jay. So, just wanted to put that in there.
Other than that, that's going to wrap it up for us tonight.